Hello and welcome to today's video. This time I'm at the Zardoz Book Fair in Wiltshire. Really looking forward to showing you what we can see today. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so here we are on a bit of a wet and foggy day in early February. And we made our way to the Zardoz £1 retail store. And Morris has got his warehouse just round the corner. And a few punters went along there in the afternoon for a bit of a shop down there. But the majority of the book fair was held in the £1 retail store, which is much, much bigger than you might think looking at it from the outside. But it's very, very well packed. And I once again had the position just by the front door. And I laid out my predominantly penguin stall. And I grabbed a little bit of footage before anyone bought anything, because we did have some good hits during the day and people found some good stuff. So I wanted just to film it as it was. But all around us, and as soon as you come in the door, is a whole host of bookcases, and they're full of books which Morris has decided to let go at £1 a book. And also he's got framed up bits of original artwork all over the place, book memorabilia, like show cards, all sorts of things, to make it quite an interesting place to visit. You could say there's always plenty to feast your eyes on. He did also have some of the Eric Gadd collection there, which was the pickups from the last time he'd been down there, because there was quite a few carloads and van loads of stuff still to be processed. Of course, it's going to take months to go through it all, but I think it would be fair to say if you were a book reader, you could come away with a very large bag full for not a lot of money. So in the middle of the room was Dorset Bob, and he'd sort of set out his tables all around, and he had some really nice, beautiful mint-like trade paperbacks there. He had a couple of boxes of, once again, £1 books. So he had some stuff lower grade for him, just that was being cleared out. Bob's reputation is just to stock the very best and highest quality, but if you wanted a few bits to read, they were there at just £1. And then he brought some of his very nice American paperbacks, which some gorgeous stuff in there. I did spot a particularly nice Agatha Christie that I might have off him at a later date. There we are, the big four, the Avon one there. Don't think that's one I've got, so might be tempted with that. Some nice gold medal, but all typical high-grade, beautiful American and some British paperbacks there. And back to some more of Morris's £1 stock. And you may or may not have seen that Dorset Bob is currently going to be selling a copy of Junkie, and by William Lee, aka William Burroughs. And we have a little chat with Bob about that particular book a little later on in this video. Now, as I said, on the journey up, I came up with my friend Dave, who sometimes accompanies me to the toy fairs, and we've been friends for a long time. Dave was my wingman, and we navigated it through some really, really heavy fog, and parts of the A303 were shut off, so we were on detours, but we still got there absolutely fine. There was people who come down from London and the Midlands. A few people commented, it's just an hour from London, which is a good point, on the train, that is. So London to Westbury, it's the local station. So do bear that in mind for future shows. We are hoping to have another one in September. As you can see, this is all the £1 stock, and this is predominantly the science fiction and fantasy £1 stock, and this has all been very nicely A to Z'd, so it's really shoppable nowadays. It really is. You can go in and really pinpoint stuff that you might be looking for. As we were there, in actual fact, Morris was filling up a new row of bookcases, which he's managed to create like another little corridor of books, and we will see some of that a little bit later in the video. But yeah, lots and lots here, and as you can see, it is quite neatly A to Z'd now. And people were certainly filling their boots, as you can imagine. But as I said, if you're an actual reader, you just want this stuff to read, and you're not too worried about condition or collectible copies or first printings, you can do very, very well indeed. I mean, it's cheaper than charity shops, and you're getting stuff that, well, in a lot of cases, the charity shops just don't stock anymore. They don't really, you know, like to have old stock on the shelves. They just sort of have the latest bestsellers, and this stuff tends to get just shoved in the bin and not put out for sale. So at least here, you've got another chance to grab it. Nice bit of pan artwork there, The Executioners, John D. MacDonald. I was having a very close look at that one. Very, very tempted. It was £250 Morris had on that one, if you're interested. And yeah, a few more bits and pieces. This is his run of The Executioner. These are some of his spares. He's got quite in-depth stock of that. As I said, you can see bits of artwork all over the place. It's all up the walls. It's just fantastic to see. Most of it for sale. Yes, there was even a full-size motorbike there. This is more from the Eric Gadd collection, so from the 1930s. So much of that was there. It's just incredible. Lots and lots of lower. This is Morris's lower grade pan stock. Back at his main warehouse, there's shelves and shelves of the higher grade stuff, and there was a couple of boxes of super high grade stuff from once again the Eric Gadd collection, which you do have a glimpse at later on. Just, you know, hasn't had a chance to be sorted just yet. But you can't quite believe the variety of stuff that's there, and you just see loads of stuff that you've never seen before. There's some of the pan books, and we'll have a look at those a bit later. The 1930s paperbacks, P.G. Wodehouse and what have you. More bits and pieces from the Gadd collection. These are nice early penguins, but they're all reprints. So I think Morris was knocking them out about 2 for $5 or something like that. And there's some nice pulps and things. Once again, we'll have a little look at those a bit later. All sorts of stuff. Morris is going to be very busy with that collection, listing it on his website and also online. It's going to take many, many months. Bit more now of Dorset Bob's higher end stock here. There he is, Mr. Book 451. Tempted with a few masterworks there. They're only £3 or £4 each, but my list is a little out of date and I need to update that first before I grab some of them. I did pick up that little Doctor Who book, The Evil of the Daleks, which is a cover mount on a recent Doctor Who magazine that I missed at the time. Look at these. I mean, we're looking at these and there's some beautiful high-grade copies of like Galaxy Mag, just £1 each. But the reason they're £1 is just because Morris has got multiple copies of them. But, you know, 50, 60, 70 years old, £1 with classic stories in. You can't go wrong. Some lovely telephones, once again from the Eric Gadd collection. And Dave and I got to Morris's at about 9:30, and it started. People started coming in from about 10:30. More penguins. These are all sort of lower grade things, lower grade copies, just at £1 a pop. Once again, you can't really go wrong at that price. A few people said if this shop was like in a city centre, I mean, it would be besieged. You know, people would be, you know, flocking there all the time because it's such great value for money, and they're not wrong. This was a work in progress. They were literally just starting to merchandise this on the day we were there, and starts to fill up now. I caught a bit of footage of people browsing and buying, and yeah, people buying records as well, vinyl. They're quite an interesting mix of stuff that was selling. I had a few decent hits of penguin sales. People had come up, which was great, specifically for my penguin stock, and there's plenty there. When I get it all out, it looks great, doesn't it? I have followed it up. Now that I've had this show, I will be doing like a dedicated Penguin sales video of 1,000 to 2,000 in the Penguin main series within the next sort of couple of weeks. So look out for that one with what I've got left. And also some of those lovely 1970s bundles. Signed Chris Akilos, little gallery there. There's a little bit more look at some of the Penguin boxes. I sold a full box and a bit more on the day of stuff, so I did sell quite a bit. Almost all my Penguin science fiction sold. Everything I had, including the odd bits from the 70s. It all went pretty much to the first and second customers. Cleared me out. Very, very hot is Penguin SF. At least it seems to be to me. Some nice and very interesting books here as well. Yeah, some good stuff there. Some small press items as well. This is on Dorset Bob's stall. And as I said, there's just stuff everywhere, including many, many Penguin mugs. I didn't spot any that I didn't have this time round, but I have had one or two of Morris. And now we'll have a little chat with Dorset Bob. It's not every day you see a copy of Junkie for sale, and particularly the digit one at that. So in your video, which is fantastic, it shows the before and after. It shows how well how well it was restored, professionally restored, and now the time has come to move it on.
It has.
It has. So some might say that Junkie is perhaps, the digit version, is perhaps one of the most sought after stroke collectible books in the vintage paperback world that there is. Would you agree with that?
I think so, and I think partly this might sound a bit strange, but it's partly because it wasn't collectible when it was published.
Yeah.
But, there were science fiction collectors, there were collectors of detective or war and western and whatever. But when that was produced in the late 50s, the sort of people that were going to read that book were not collectors.
Yeah.
They were beatniks.
Yeah.
And then hippies.
So they didn't really keep. No, they didn't keep books, did they?
They read them to bits. They lent them to their mates. As I say in the video, you can imagine people sticking it in their jeans back pocket and jumping on their motorcycle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it is a rare opportunity, and I think, where do you think it lands in the term of the most expensive paperbacks? So for a regular release, not signed or, like a...
Well, I can only go on the research I've done. The research I've done is that copies tend to turn up about once every 10 years. And there was a copy turned up nearly 20 years ago that was beat to hell. A bit like mine before it was restored.
Yeah.
And it made over $2,000.
That's 10 years ago.
It was 10, I think nearly 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a copy sold around 2005-06 at the New York Book Fair that I believe made $10,000.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's got to be up there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's primarily because of the collecting of William Burroughs and that Beat Generation literature, and it extends way outside of the paperback field.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is special because it is the first separate edition, because of course Junkie in the States was an ace double.
That's right, yeah. So, and we do see those around. It's expensive, but it's nowhere near this, is it?
Oh yeah, no, they are around.
A fraction of the value.
You see, a lot of what is published online, sometimes you have to take a little bit with a pinch of salt. There are all these things online about how it was banned.
Yeah.
And copies were destroyed. But I've been chatting to Steve Holland, who, as we know, is the UK's authority on vintage paper.
Absolutely.
And he was saying there's no evidence for that.
And he would know,
He can't find a destruction order, he can't find any injunctions, court orders, police raids on Brown Watson, who are the publishers of Digit. So there's no hard evidence that says it was destroyed. Of course, they could have had a fire at the warehouse.
Right.
Or the printers.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
So we don't know.
They could have got
But
a
it has
flood.
happened, yeah.
You know,
We've
and
heard of these
copies
things happening.
destroyed that way. But his theory, and I buy into it, is that the people who bought that book were not book collectors.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. So you're gonna what are you gonna do? List it online or wait for people to contact you about it initially?
I've put the video up on YouTube just out of interest, because I thought it was an interesting story.
Definitely,
to tell.
yeah. And I will, of course, link to that from my video.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
But the way my mind's thinking is that it should go through a proper auction house. I haven't decided which yet, but it's likely to be an American auction house. And then, you know, it's up to who
fancies it.
Who fancies it,
Yeah.
who's prepared to pay the money for it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the restoration is astonishing.
Oh.
I just can't believe
I
how
have to
good
say
it is.
that when I first saw it, I couldn't believe how well she'd done
Yeah,
it.
it was
Obviously, I was a
amazing.
bit nervous before I
Yeah.
went up there. I thought,
Yeah.
because Angelina did say to me, you know, she'd not done a paperback before. But yeah,
What a job!
Hats
yeah.
off to her.
And the spine.
Fabulous.
That's what I
Yes,
almost
incredible.
couldn't believe it.
I know.
It's like,
And when you see it in the flesh, Jules,
I can't wait,
you wouldn't notice it.
no, it just looks like a normal.
Yeah, just looks like a
brand new book.
normal spine.
That's the sign of great
Extraordinary.
restoration.
Yeah,
that's the sign of. Well, you know, it's an amazing book. It's a great story, and well, as I said, if anyone's not actually seen that video yet, that's you definitely need to head over. So brilliant! Thanks a lot for that, Bob.
Pleasure.
Yes, absolutely amazing, that copy of Junkie. I've yet to see the restored version in the flesh. I saw the unrestored one, and well, I collect digit books, but that's one I'm probably never going to own unless I get particularly lucky. And I had a chance now to go through the shelves at a little bit slower pace. And I think that copy of Meteor there, that was one that my friend Dave picked up. He also got a really nice copy of Raiders of the Lost Ark, movie tie-in as well, which is another good one. I think he got a big Bob Dylan box set, because Morris had moved up some of his rock and pop stuff up to this the £1 shop. And there really was something everywhere you looked. There was books and book related stuff. You can't really go wrong. And we'll have a little chat with Morris a little bit later. So, rather surprisingly, the next London paperback show, we were expecting it to be around March the 30th, but the actual next date for the London show is May the 25th, Sunday, May the 25th. So pop that little date in your diary. That's when, Morris and Bob will both be that one. I shall just be coming back from holiday. I won't... I will be able to get to the show, but I won't be able to do much prep prior to it because I'm not going to be around. But the November show, which is, I think, when they do another one before the end of the year, I am potentially intending to attend that as a dealer, space permitting, of course. So here's those Air Stories pulps. These are from the 1930s. They're very, very nice. The cover artist is all the same chap. Bob was telling me he did a lot of science fiction. Drigin. So he did a lot of science fiction, and the ships aren't very good, but his actual aircraft there, well, as you can see, they're beautiful. Very, very nice. Gorgeous. There we are, some sort of 80s and 90s, early 2000s stock. Just £1 each. There's those Galaxies and New Worlds. I mean, the thing is, because Morris has got such deep stock of them, 3-4 copies a piece, and so has Bob in actual fact, he can afford just to clear out the racks a bit at £1 a pop. And I don't blame them. I am going to sort of start picking up some of those, I think, if they're really mint, because the prices are just so good. Here's a few other bits and pieces. I don't these were about £5 each, something like that. Some of these so slightly lower grade pulps, but nice early ones, all the same. But you know, a bit low grade for the true aficionado. And here's a little look through that box of reprints. These are all reprint penguins from the Eric Gadd collection, which are like £2.50 each. Once again, fine if you're a reader. You know, that's a rare book, that Half Mass Murder, but it was just a reprint. If you're a reader, it may be something to you'd be happy with. I mean, look at all the copies of Poets Pub. It's mad, isn't it? A little bit more of the Eric Gadd selection, all 1930s titles. Some Collins there, it's the Hutchinson Pie magazine, which is like a sort of a 1930s, early 40s sort of miscellany thing. Not many people really even know about it anymore, but it is what it is. And a few Hodder and Stoughtons and what have you. As I said, just a fraction of the stuff that was in the collection, and a lot of the customers went down to Morris's warehouse, and they spent a couple of hours down there, including my friend Dave. He said it was very cold, but quite the eye opener, which I guessed it would be. It is a very cold snap in Britain this weekend. More of the 30s, some of the stuff that's in the process of being, in the middle of being sorted out. And this is it. These have just literally been unpacked and popped on the shelf, so a bit of a hodgepodge at the moment, but there's going to be lots in there. And I think this £1 bookshop, that's a nice synonym that I've not seen before. This £1 bookshop is a sort of place where you probably need to go back at least once a month. And if I was local, I would be doing that. I absolutely guarantee it. There's some of the music stuff I was referring to that Morris has just got out recently. And then I think he's starting to pull together some of his military history as well, which is another not a bad thing to do, to have that on its own. There we are. Coldest book by Ben McIntyre, I can recommend. Very interesting read, that one. Yeah, it's a bit of military. A few nice pans there. Stalingrad, what a book that is. Gold medals. When you think they're just £1, it's such a bargain. It really, really is. Okay, well, Morris, thanks very much. We've had another great day. Lots of happy customers. How do you think it's gone?
I think it's gone pretty well. I mean, we've had quite a number come through, and from quite a way off. I mean, some as far as the Midlands and
that's true. A few from London as well. And the surrounding area.
Yeah. People are pretty amazed at what they found. I think that was the thing. You know, a lot of people have thought, "Wow, you've never seen this sort of stuff around."
Absolutely.
In numbers, anyway. I mean, you know, they're collecting odd bits here and there, but just. So unusual.
That's it, yeah. Now, our next show is the London paperback show at the end of May, and potentially what you might do one of these before the end of the year?
Probably September, shall
About
we think.
September again?
It's a bit warmer. It's a bit easier to get around.
It is a bit warmer, yeah. And what about having it on the Saturday or the Sunday? Do you think the jury's out, or for some people
possibly.
it was easier,
it's difficult to tell, isn't it? We got a few more last time on the Sunday, but that was in September, so it's
and the Penguin show was the day before, wasn't it? So a few people coming up from Exeter stopped here on the way up,
that's
or
true.
Way home, I think.
That's true,
yeah, brilliant. But it's been really good.
We would welcome anybody to actually suggest which is the best day.
Saturday or a Sunday, absolutely.
Choice, but
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, thanks very much for having the day. Anyway, it's been really great to see so many familiar faces.
Yeah. We've seen people that we've not seen for quite a while and have a good chat. Yeah,
that's it, and it's always great fun. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks a lot, Morris.
All right,
cheers. And what a good day that was. I really enjoyed myself. Morris was great with the customers, getting all cups of tea and coffee. It was just fantastic. So really great. And I look forward to the next one. Thanks again to everyone who came along. Channel supporters Liam and Jason as well. Great to see you guys, as well as everyone who came by and said hello. Some members of the Penguin Collectors Society came along as well. Caroline, so good to see her and her partner as well. It was excellent day. So there we go. That's it book fair wise now until the next London Paperback Show, which, as I said, is on May the 25th. So I hope to see some of you there. I will once again be on Dorset Bob's stall, but I won't be having a table at that particular one. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Dorset Bob's video on the screen right now. If you are at all curious about that very rare book, Junkie. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon with another video. Bye.